Kevin and I have we met approximately 5 years ago, I think, through the business networking group, and I'd been involved with it for some number of years, and he joined the group, and that's where I first met him. And I believe we've known each other for about 5 years, and it's a relationship that's developed over time. The great majority of the kinds of things that he does revolve around insurance. And I had been looking for a number of years, somebody who had confidence in, who could provide services to my customer base in the insurance area, because there are, and I've been in this business for quite some time, and over that period of time you develop a client base that has individuals, because I deal with companies and small business owners. They have over time developed a net worth of some substance in some cases, and insurance is really a big part of the financial plan of anybody who has value and wants to protect it. You need to do that. And it's a kind of a relationship that's developed over time, because you have initial presence and you get to understand somebody, you meet with them and you get to know them better. And as our relationship has evolved and changed, I think that his function as well, in terms of insurance and all the other things that he does, has evolved as well. So it's been a match and a growing relationship over time. I trust Kevin implicitly as far as the things that he does is concerned, and I have absolute faith that he will serve the best interests of my clients, and that is the kind of relationship that I have with him, and the kind of relationship I have with my customers as well. Well, what I can talk to you about in relationship to introducing is a situation that happened for me just last week, where an individual that I know and I've done work with and I've known for a large number of years, at least 10 anyway, we sat down and we talked about his business, and we talked about the fact that he had a fairly substantial portfolio of investments that he was unhappy with their performance. And this was all in conjunction with the fact that him and his wife had recently run into some additional funding through the death of a relative. And the question was, well, how am I going to do this? I don't have much faith in the people that I'm dealing with right now. And I said, I'd like you to talk to a gentleman that I know named Kevin Cahill. He may not be the person that you want to deal with, but he's definitely someone that you need to speak to, because he can help you in terms of making judgments in relationship to the people you're using now and the things you need to do going forward. The investment industry today is populated by lots of people who know lots of things and are very particular about making sure that whatever they do for their clients does something for them as well. So it's not necessarily that any individual is going to get the best treatment, but they're going to get adequate treatment. Kevin has the attitude that I have, and that is that the customer is the number one that you want to service, the number one that you want to do things for. So in terms of what happens to you personally, it's probably really irrelevant as to what happens from your remuneration. It's more a question of what have you done for them. My life is different because I've met a lot more people than I probably would have if I hadn't. And we've shared some personal experiences as well. And I like to think that I've been able to help him achieve his goals as he has worked with me. The fact that he is solely centered on that client to make sure that the things that happen to them are the best things that can happen within the circumstances that they present to him. And you're quite correct to suggest that there are lots of qualified people out there, and there are lots of qualified people who do good work for individuals. But to a great extent, what you're talking about is the development of a personal relationship and faith and trust. And this is what I have, and that's what I prefer to do, to have that trust. So from my standpoint, although I know lots of other people who are in the business, and a lot of them are really well qualified and do good work, the relationship with Kevin is my primary responsibility in terms of developing relationships and all the rest of it. And I do recommend other services to people that I know, but it doesn't happen as much as it happens with Kevin. There isn't anything that I can add to what I've said. I can only go back to the things that were most important to both Kevin and myself, and that is that the customer or the client is the one that is primarily of concern to us. We want to make sure that whatever happens, their needs are met, and through that process, they are protected in terms of what their goals are. We can help them achieve those things over time, and whatever happens to us in terms of reward is something that generally looks after itself, and it's not really a concern in terms of how things are put together. It's more a question of service to client first, make sure that things that need to be done are done, and then whatever happens, happens.